Welcome to the Interconnected Circle, a space where we slow down, tune in, and remember the truth of who we are. Here, we honor our stories, our sensitivity, and the unique expression our soul chose for this life's journey. Through reflection, circle principles, and connection with nature, we explore what it means to heal, to reclaim our voice, and to belong without changing ourselves. This is a space of compassion, curiosity, and deep inner remembering. I'm your host, Megan Tucker, and I'm joined by Christine Mahe from Grow the Soul Up, whose presence and sound medicine helps us settle into deeper connection. Thank you for being here. Let's begin with a deep breath together. Hello, greetings, welcome. Christine and I are going to chat today about a little bit heavier stuff, on how to get through it, because there's a lot of darkness in our world. And it feels like there's a lot of negative surrounding so many, like almost too many things. It's too much to process. And so we wanted to chat today about processing that darkness, the darkness of our own personal experiences and how people sometimes harm us, and whether intentional or unintentional or just business, but still harm all the time. And so we have to process that while continuing to walk through life and work through, whatever we might be having to face each day. There's lots of layers to life. And we just kind of want to talk about the interconnectedness of self-love and being able to have capacity to love others, our perception and the way it shifts our experience, because the same experience can be seen in different ways. So I just wanted to start with a little bit of sound, because processing isn't always easy. Grief is interwoven into all of that, processing of the hard things, processing of the endlessness of the tasks of life, seeming endlessness anyway. So welcome. Thanks. So we'll start with, how do we get through all of it when the society has these like really big problems, and then not just within our society, within the working parts, right? The systems that we function inside of, right? Those can have their own problems, which they do, which cause us personal strife, right? Like struggles with the healthcare system, struggles with the mental health care system, like access to support when um, life is a struggle. So that's one layer to how things can be challenging. But then there's the bigger layer of like what's happening on the bigger level of our society when there's stressful political things. And then outside of our borders, there's stressful, international things, right? Like there's all these layers to um, how life can be too much and have so much toxicity,
Mhm.
right? Like, oh my gosh, we can experience so much harm just from like watching the news.
The fear is real, right? And the fear is what you can either let it, you know, really dive into that fear and live in fear, or you can learn to, yes, acknowledge what reality is, but also try to find beauty, find good things, find things that bring you, like, ground you and experience a good life as good as you can, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's the little things that we change that can make a huge difference in everything.
Well, and also when you think about neuroscience and the way our brains are, the more what we focus on is what we program our brain, the pathways to go to, right? So if we're constantly thinking about how anxious we are about those bigger world problems that we can't ourselves solve, we're just creating anxiety pathways for no purpose other than to waste our own time. Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I don't want to say it in an insensitive way, but honestly, right? It's
I think changing. So if you see that there's a lot of hatred in the world, why not change that and do your part? And when you see hatred, okay, make an extra effort to be nice to people. That changes a lot in this world. If people started doing that, can you imagine?
mhm.
And you put someone in that, like, oh, wow, that was really nice. Well, maybe they'll pay it forward. It doesn't take much, right? And if everyone starts doing that and changing the energy of the world, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. And so that's exactly it is um, wasting our energy on anxiety doesn't make sense when we can be making small changes where we are in our reality that will have ripple effects,
Yeah.
right?
And,
So
and it also changes our own energy and, like, and I
our own
think
experience.
and loving ourselves is a big part of how that will change the world amazingly enough.
Mhm.
If we love ourselves, we have a lot more to give.
Yeah,
We have a lot more love to give. We have a lot more joy to share and just more energy, right? So I don't know. I think it really, really, truly, the responsibility, everything, it all falls on us to start, right? To take
yeah,
care of ourselves.
yeah. Which isn't always easy because grief can really trap us.
And
Um,
fear, right? Grief
yeah,
and fear,
yeah.
of
So
course.
there's there's just like so many sad things that can pile up one on top of the other, right? And it can be really hard to process
Mhm.
any of it when the stack just gets too big, right? You lose somebody special in your life and someone betrays you and it causes you to lose a job and right, like there can be all these layers of things that
Yes.
you're grieving and then but then you still have to like move on and like still pay for life
Hmm.
right. Right,
Yeah.
so
Which
then
causes more problems if, you lose your job,
yeah.
right? So then it's, yes, constantly. But I truly, like, when I've been at rock bottom, living in my parents' house, which I was very thankful for. But that was the change is I could have been like, wow, I lost everything. I have nothing. And I could have stayed there
Hmm.
and thankfully, I had so much support and love, but I had to make the decision for myself if that's the energy I wanted to stay in, or if I was gonna like get out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only way I got out of it was really to, first of all, ground myself because I was very high anxiety. So it was like, okay, a lot of remembering to breathe and like just taking time by myself, just breathing, just meditating, really. And it had to be like I had to continually remind myself. And that was very difficult, but having gratitude, and it was very difficult to have gratitude. It was extremely difficult because I thought I had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, well, wow, I'm so lucky that I have parents that, first of all, can have space for me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And, and I have my kids, and I have, like, I didn't have a job at the time. So it was, that was very difficult and scary, and had bills to pay still and children to feed, and
Mm-hmm.
right. So it was like, but I seriously, if I wouldn't have started looking at the things that I did have and have gratitude, I would not have gotten enough strength to find a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to push myself, right? And I know that's so difficult. And finding, even if it's one person that's supportive,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why having a group like this to come to, the Interconnected Circle, is especially important if you feel you have nobody to talk to, you know, and you can really develop some really strong friendships because, we realize how alike everyone is in,
Mm-hmm.
or similar in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're having really similar overlapping kind of experiences, but with our own personal differences, right? And so we get to see that we're not alone, and there's others who are navigating it just like us.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like it's empowering to see others like, okay, we're going to keep supporting each other, and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to find our way through. um yeah, I feel like self-love isn't easy. It sounds, um it can sound easy, but then the
Or
actual,
expensive. Some
yeah.
people think, oh, I need to go for a pedicure or a massage, or I have to go out and spend money to feel good about myself. But sometimes it's just looking at how good of a person you are.
Mhm.
It's the little things that you do. And it's like, wow, like nobody else does that like me. And that's where, too, like if you're a creative person in any way, you start creating and like having appreciation for your gifts.
Mhm.
It's like, that can really set you on a journey of healing in itself, right?
Yeah. And that's where circle's really valuable, because you're training your brain, right? The
Yeah.
more that we sit in this intentional space of self-reflection and we review the positive, when we recognize our strengths, the more we're building those pathways of acknowledging, yes, I do have what it takes and I can get through this. And it helps us to program our brain to start looking
Mm-hmm.
at gratitude, looking from a lens of, I do have strength in me. And even though it's challenging, even though grief is overwhelming, um, yeah, I'm still capable of making it through. And yeah, like having a positive mindset to bring you through it, it just feels better, right? Because you could also hang around in self-shame and self-pity area, but it's not going to feel good.
No.
Harder to get
Well,
out.
and I think also, oh, I lost it. um, but yeah, just
Well, my next point is,
realizing, sorry, thinking about like what you have made it through sometimes,
yeah.
because that's the other thing. Maybe you didn't make it through what you're going through or what you just went through or something that's traumatic or fearful or, something that's bothering you. Maybe you've never been through this situation, but you've probably been through something that's been very hard that you thought, how am I going to make it through? So just remembering that you are a strong person. You are always stronger than you realize. And when you look back and see, wow, I made it through this, I totally can make it. Maybe that's just that little push and just remind yourself of, I'm a strong person. I really am. I didn't think I could handle this. I did. It wasn't, I look back now and I handled it like a pro, or it was difficult, but I really got through it, and how did I get through it? Reminding yourself, how did you get through it? Right. And trying to maybe those little things that you did will help you get through the next challenge,
Yeah.
whatever that challenge is.
Well, and also, I feel like we've woven in a lot of following the moon energies, the cycles, the earth, the planets, following, having something to like guide your way. Um, it can help in the processing and the feeling of like steadfastness, and people get it from different places, right?
Well, and knowing that this is the thing about following the moon cycles and astrology is knowing that when you realize that what's going on, it really is like the astrology is matching everything.
Mhm.
And like they said, everything always is changing and shifting and moving. So we need to know that it's not always going to be like this.
Mhm.
Things are falling apart to come back to something way better. And that's what faith I have right now, right? Like that, even if things are going to be really hard, they're going to get better. They're going to get easier. We will make it through, right?
Yeah, and that's where I feel like really good self-care is a good practice for getting through.
More
Because
than ever. More than
yeah,
ever.
because we want to be ready to be a part of making it better when it needs to be made better.
Yeah,
But we won't have anything to give if we aren't caring for ourselves, right?
exactly. Right. And it's stronger than, how you can have a friend or you can have family members that drain you, but this is starting to be a worldwide energy, right?
Mhm.
And so we at this, if you've never done it in your life, is really and truly going to be a time in your life that I feel like you really need to take care of yourself more than ever. You need to, for me, I feel like the need to really dive into my spirituality more.
Mhm.
And to me, that's part of self love and self care, right? And having, because it brings me faith that everything is going to be okay.
Mhm.
And in the hard times. So that's how I deal with it, right? Those little things.
Yeah. Yeah, like recognizing your own sacredness, right? And recognizing that caring for this being, making sure that I have the energy to do good in the world, that's a sacred endeavor.
Hmm.
That's meaningful and worthwhile. So, like I used to feel kind of my identity felt tied to some of the things I did, the work I did, and then that all fell apart and I had a lot of negative experiences. And so then all of that unraveling made me realize it doesn't matter what job I have. Um, I have to be well enough to put good out into the world. And if I'm not well enough, how can I put my good out into the world? I won't be putting it all, right?
No.
So,
So that's a completely perfect example of taking care of yourself so that you can help others,
yeah.
right? So, or that you can just, well, so that you can just function, honestly,
Yeah,
right?
for a while it was like I can't help others.
And really, really, you do. And it might, to some people, seem like you're being selfish. And you know what? If they think you're being selfish, they're not really caring about how you feel.
Mhm,
And they're not, so then you can maybe consider, is this person just an energy vampire? Are they just taking from me all the time?
mhm,
Like, and that's the other thing about taking care of ourselves is be starting to be discerning of where your energy is going, where it's being reciprocated.
mhm.
If you're always giving and giving and giving and there's no reciprocation, no energy exchange, doesn't have to be money, could be time, it could be, doesn't have to be the same thing. It's just, is there give and take?
Mhm.
At some point, if you're always giving or if you're always taking, that relationship is probably going to fall apart, right? Because it just, there has to be some sort of balance, right?
Yeah,
So,
balance. That's the thing we always come back to. Circle always brings us back to, um, and in all the different ways, right? We are holistic beings, and too much of anything pushes us too far one way. And our bodies are based on balance, our energy is based on balance. The earth and her cycles are based on balance, and we are interconnected with all of it, right? Yeah. So, yeah, balance is the thing we get back to is and it's not easy. Oh my gosh.
no, no, and that's,
Beginning, there's so many things coming at us in so many ways that the world is being harmful constantly, and that our society is told like it's okay to be harmful because it's just business. And it's like, oh my gosh, we're harming humans at an alarming rate.
but I think we're really seeing the truth. And that's what's happening now, right? And people, with the energies of what's going on astrologically, there's a lot of like the truth being shown, things
Hmm.
falling apart, people
Hmm.
starting to revolt,
Yeah.
um, hopefully in a peaceful way, right? Because, and that's where I come back to, yes, we could deal with this in an angry way. Are we doing, to me, that's like, I don't want to name names and I don't want to say, but I think we can picture. To me, it's like saying, oh, I'm going to help your country because, they're destroying you, but I'm going to hurt people in your country to do this.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you're being any better than them. Like, to me, you're
Hmm.
making yourself seem like a hero, which those people probably are too. To me, it's like, let's find a way to bring everything to peace and bring more love in this world.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to harm other humans for our own safety. That doesn't make sense. Because as long as you're perpetuating harm, you're never safe, because the cycle of reciprocity works both ways.
Mhm.
You're perpetuating harm, it's going to come back to you,
Oh, definitely.
right? So the cycle of war does not serve anybody.
No.
um yeah, we have to stop harming people. We have to start saying, like, how can we make it better
But that does
together?
start with, like, again, it starts with us. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
realize how
it
much
starts
power.
local.
And oh, and this is the Leo full moon right now,
Yeah.
which means empowering ourselves.
Yeah.
So to me, that's like, what can we do? Right? What can we
Mhm.
do? And we're also moving into our true selves. We have the power to become who we really are and who we want to be, right?
Mhm.
So that's a quick little full moon insight, but we can really harness this energy right now. And if you're kind of shy, just bring in that energy that the full moon is bringing in. Like, just maybe take a chance, do one little thing, and that might be like, oh, that wasn't so bad, and you might just all of a sudden get to where you really want to be. Like, this is what's happening right now. It's that it looks horrible. We got to remember that the only way you can have new is if you take out the old. So that's what's happening right now. It's all just falling apart.
Mhm.
And things are happening really quickly. It's the year of the fire horse, which is, I believe, today is the Chinese New Year, or within the next few days. Anyways, it's very fast moving year we're gonna have, right?
Mhm.
And what do you think about when you think of a horse kind of wild and free and doing what they want to do, right? So use all that, harness that energy, the full moon and the like, yeah, exactly. Be who you want to be and work towards what you want to be and focus on that. And you take those little steps. And that's loving yourself, I feel. That's true love. When you allow yourself to shine, you
Mhm.
allow yourself to be who you want to be, that's when that's self-love.
Yeah.
That's taking care of yourself, truly, right? Empowering yourself,
Yeah. For real. Yeah. Funny, I wore this sweater. Live free.
right? It's like I knew.
Wasn't even planned. But yeah, actually, like embracing your wholeness
Yeah.
is a really beautiful and sacred endeavor that is part of like the whole purpose of you being you and you being here at this time. Like, I don't know, I just feel like viewing it from a space of there's purpose in all of it, viewing it from that space of out of how many sperm that had no chance, like this was what was created, that it's like just the odds of it all. It's like
And you're
you
here.
you're
You made it, right? Like,
yeah, you're
you
supposed
and
to
I
be
made
here.
it. Why are we here?
Yeah,
Like, that in itself is a gift. Like,
yeah.
wow, why me? Like we are here for a purpose, so find that purpose. And
Hmm.
usually that's how you want to be, like the things you dream of, right? So what do you dream of? What do you Yeah, it might be winning the lottery, but you don't need to win the lottery to feel happiness,
Yeah, like what makes
right?
you feel really good in the world, what makes you
What would you do with
feel.
that $1 million, right? Like, so if it's traveling and you can't afford to travel, go walk in nature around here.
Mhm.
Do what you can. Even if you can't go in nature, or like go out of town or go out of the city or wherever you are, go for a walk in the park,
Mhm. There are some beautiful parks.
right?
Yeah.
So it's how you want to do it. Do you want to just sit and say, "Oh, there's nothing"? No,
Well, and
start looking, start seeing, taking those little opportunities,
yeah.
using your imagination a little, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us, I think, have forgotten how to use our imagination
Well, and
because
actually, so looking at your background and looking at my background, actually, meditation, you know what I mean? Like you can create a serene space in your own home with a
with
little
very little.
bit of help from some art.
Yeah,
And then you close your eyes and you envision a
yeah.
forest and you envision what is your ideal forest look like. And
Well, and that was like us talking about, I'm building a fountain, kind of like I don't even know what you would call it, like a fairy fountain jungle. um,
a water
so
creation.
yeah, and I was just saying, like, like I used pool noodles, and I used my imagination, and just as I started going, I got more ideas and more ideas, and you know um because I wish I could live by the water, and right now I don't, right? And
Right
so
now, your
how can
background
I,
tells us you do.
so how can I experience it? Well, if I have a fountain, if I hear water, that really creates serenity and peace. And you can close your eyes and then, oh, you've got the sound of the water, right? And that, and just the energy the water brings, right? Like, so, yeah, like if it's something, if you really want something, just go after it in one way. And it may not look exactly how you think. And that's the other thing, right? Is just kind of accept it and look at those things and
Mhm.
say, you know, actually, in a sense, I am getting what I wanted. It just looks a little different.
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing when you create it yourself and you meet your own need, it's empowering.
Hmm.
You start to feel like, oh my gosh, I am so capable of creating
Yeah.
whatever I need in my life.
Yeah. Like I said, I was like telling Megan about how I had to figure out some plumbing stuff and had no clue, and how I had to learn so much over such a probably a very simple project to most people. But then it was like, oh wow, like I'm actually learning a few things, right? Like, and
Mhm.
it's like nobody helped me. I mean, I got ideas and stuff from others, but I just had set to work and tried a few different things. And it's not quite running yet, hopefully tomorrow, but it's just empowering when you figure things out and you try things. And maybe it wouldn't just, I would have needed help, right? But that would have been okay too,
Mhm.
right? But it's just, you got to try.
Yeah.
And it's not even about creating things. You got to try for your life, for joy, bring joy into your life. Even if it's just, like I said, a little walk, that fresh air, right? Or talking to a,
Looking for something beautiful,
mhm. And
noticing.
watching a funny movie,
Yeah.
changing the energy of what you listen to. So
Mhm.
instead of watching the news, maybe how about skip the news one day this week and watch something funny instead? See how you feel after that,
There's a
right?
lot of good comedians out there, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or,
Laughter.
funny show, comedian, whatever you, whatever makes you laugh and forget about the bad things going on in life, right?
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, because like we said, brain science tells us the things we think about more, we build those pathways. And so actually it's worthwhile to distract ourselves.
Yeah.
If you find your negative spiraling thoughts, like turn on something funny because it will make a difference in your life. Actually,
Yeah.
turn off the
Literally.
negative, turn on the fun,
You
and
think
go.
about when you go to the theater and you see people coming out that have just watched a funny movie. You don't
Mm,
really see anyone grumpy, do you? Or if you see someone after a sad movie, well, you might see people crying, right?
mhm.
It literally changes your vibrations,
Mhm, mhm,
right?
it does.
So it's little things like that that, maybe you are like so sad and stuff that you can't get yourself out of bed. And I've been there and I get it. So I'm not judging anyone.
Mhm,
But maybe that's all you can do is reach over your phone, even if that's what you've got. Watch something funny on YouTube, which is free.
mhm,
If you've got nothing.
mhm.
Most people have a phone. Obviously, if they're watching us, they've got technology to watch us on. So use that technology to your benefit. Change the algorithms. Right?
Yeah, actually, that's a thing. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. He's like, "How'd you get your algorithm so good?" Yeah, like that's a good intentional life hack. If you are gonna spend some time scrolling, I recommend like searching up some good helpful things. I searched up a lot of like stretches, mobility, clearing your energy. So my whole anytime I scroll, I'm getting something that's motivating me to help myself.
That's like me. And it's like my algorithm is love and peace based things, and for the most part. And like plant stuff and crystal stuff and spiritual things
Funny cat.
and like crafting things and just things
Yeah.
that make me happy. But
Yeah.
I really have limited my time on social media because I've
Mhm.
been very creative, and that just like
That
that,
takes up time.
but that is
Like
so that's
good time.
medicine to me, big
Yeah,
time,
it is.
right? So
Yeah, that's what we need to do actually is like take a little snapshot, look at how are we spending our time?
mhm,
What is our brain consuming? Um,
mhm.
be intentional, pay attention, because what we feed our mind is what um, that's how we alter our perception of the world, right? And
Where
so
your focus goes, energy goes, right? So, and that's where it'll come from, right? So if you're focused on everything bad, you will not see the good because, like you said, your brain is focused on only finding bad. You won't find good.
yeah, yeah, and then you'll find
Right?
more bad, and then it'll feel worse.
But you also
Mhm.
attract that too, right? So, people will say, well, it just keeps happening to me, but it's like, but that's all you talk about. That's all you
It's what your
like.
brain
You're
is looking for.
always seeing negative. You're never happy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't see anything good in your life.
Yeah.
So your energy will attract more bad if you're in that, right?
Mhm.
Like, so that's part of a manifestation tool, right? Is changing your vibrations to attract better things. And like I said, it's not easy, but
Mhm.
once you get on track, and gratitude to me is a huge gift that is free,
Mhm.
that is something you can do laying down, right?
Yeah.
You can do it alone, you can do it for nothing.
Oh my gosh, this morning I did it while I was making my coffee,
Yeah.
right? Just like as my machine was pouring out that espresso, I was like, I'm so grateful for this. And
Yeah.
then popped up on my algorithm a video about how caffeine's actually a pretty good stimulant for ADHD. And I was like, thank you. Yeah.
Well, and too, like, that goes with our relationships. If we have more gratitude, and I get that there are some, like we talked about the energy vampires, et cetera, but once you surround yourself with people that are good, you also have to have gratitude for those people because,
Mhm.
like, just be grateful that you have them in your life and that you have love, right?
Mhm.
Love for them and that they have love for you and
Mhm.
that you found each other. And, you know, I don't know. And I feel like when you have that energy in a relationship, that builds more love. And that, if you have gratitude, they'll have gratitude too, because they'll start seeing, oh, wow, like she's always so grateful for, I really didn't do much, but she was so grateful. And she's always, you know, showing me how grateful she is for me. And,
Mhm.
and then it's the reciprocity too, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that is gratitude, like very intentional.
mhm.
Gratitude is
Yeah.
part of reciprocity. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just feel like when people know that you're thankful for what the things they do for you, because let's
Mhm.
face it, we get in a groove, and sometimes people get in a groove of doing things, and we don't stop and remember that, wow, like that was really nice of them. Like maybe they made me a coffee so I didn't have to, do it, while
Mhm.
I was getting ready, or you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm just giving an example, but it could,
Any small thing.
yeah, like, that's in friendships, that's in, love relationships, that's your parents, your
Mhm.
kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we forget we need to thank them for the things that we do or they do, even though like the joy they bring in our lives, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, getting intentional about noticing it and saying it helps our brain with the wiring too, right? So we're helping them, we're helping ourselves. Yeah, gratitude's so powerful, and you can't you can't be in your anxious brain if you're in your gratitude brain.
Exactly. It really grounds you, really, right?
Mhm.
It truly, because it stops you. When you're having, like, when you're in gratitude, you have to be in the present moment and you have to, like, see it,
Yeah.
right? You have
Yeah.
to stop yourself to see it.
Yeah. Stop all the thinking right here, right now. This thing in front of me, I'm grateful
And
for.
that's what we need to keep bring ourselves back to, is stay in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Breathe and just try, do things that bring you joy, right? Anything, any little thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Do it for yourself because you're a sacred endeavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if there's people that in your life that you care for, do it knowing that you really can't care for them or be your best unless you take care of yourself. So it's not selfish. You're
Yeah.
actually thinking of others when you're taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's just while you're showering or getting ready for work in the morning, or whatever you're doing, right? Like, it's, you
Yeah.
really gotta
Stack
find
it.
a way,
Yeah.
right? Doing
Stack it with another
dishes,
habit, right? Yeah.
cooking meals.
Yeah.
That was always my, kind of a meditation too, in a sense. I often kind of go in my own little world when I'm doing those things, and, thinking of things I'm grateful for. And
Well, and if you do that while you're cooking, putting that energy into the food
mhm,
is like a form of magic. So
it is, it actually will make your food taste better,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
And
So
I always will also thank my food for being so nourishing, for healing
yes,
my body, for healing my family, right?
yes,
Because I know that that's part of
that's
how I care.
powerful, very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
And we don't realize it, but that's connecting to everything too, right? Like,
Mhm.
and,
Connecting to the energy of it, having gratitude for the gifts that plants and food bring us.
mm,
Um,
I think it intensifies it. I truly believe it.
yeah, you're well, because you're connecting to the energy of it, the essence of it. It was a living being, and
Yeah.
now it's being sacrificed to nourish us,
Which,
essentially, right?
but,
So let's have
like, here
gratitude.
we go again. Gratitude
Yeah,
elevates the vibrations of the food, the water we drink,
yeah,
the people we're around.
yeah. So then it makes it even more healing. So it's
Yes, it's totally,
magic.
everything is interconnected. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like that's what the more I understand magic, it's in the simple and the small things,
Yes,
but
truly.
they're the things that are often overlooked. And when we don't overlook them, that's where the magic is,
Hmm.
in
It truly
not
is. Because
overlook.
then we connect
Yeah.
with it.
All the small pieces that are interconnected that create this experience and this existence of being us here and now. And yeah, so I don't know, it gets you more in the moment, you get more intentional, and then you're building gratitude pathways in your brain and you feel better.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Truly, really, truly.
And like the energy everywhere is amplified. So
Mhm.
um yeah, gratitude's the way to go. All right. I I feel like we covered it, hey?
Yeah, I think that was a really good talk.
We transmuted some darkness into some light.
Yeah, I hope that it really helps people. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, let us know, questions or comments. Um,
Do you want to
and
delve into the darkness more?
yeah,
We're
and
pretty good at flipping it at this point, so we can do it kind of rapidly, but we can journey into the darkness too. Circle
yeah,
has made us comfortable with that.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for watching us, everybody. Thank you, Megan.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too.